Chosen one. There is a name written in ink that does not fade, a name sealed beneath layers of dust, guarded by iron doors and ancient law. That name is yours. Beneath the marble floors of a forgotten city vault, hidden inside a locked box marked with royal insignias and divine sigils, lies a document that changes everything. It is not a contract for money alone. It is a legal scroll of bloodline, of calling, of destiny. You were written into it before you were even born. You have been searching for something your whole life, perhaps without even knowing what it was. A feeling, a whisper, a pull that could never be explained. Have you ever felt like something bigger was looking for you, but didn't know how to find you yet? That you were waiting for a moment, but no one told you what it was? You were never lost, chosen one. You were hidden in plain sight until the appointed hour. And now the hour has come. This is not just a video. This is a heavenly broadcast. This is a spiritual legal notice. This is the moment the scroll opens and your inheritance calls your name aloud. Let me paint it for you. A heavy envelope sealed in wax, stamped with the crest of divine royalty. Inside, not just word, but a prophecy. Not just wealth, but weapons of spiritual power. Not just favor, but the final piece of a lineage stretching back through centuries. Chosen one, this hidden fortune was never about gold or property. It was about who you are. It was about what flows in your spirit. It was about the weight of heaven's favor hovering just above your shoulders. The forces that tried to delay you are now collapsing. The people who said you were crazy are about to witness clarity. The moments that felt meaningless were always part of the preparation. You thought you were being overlooked, but the truth is, you were being trained in silence. And now, heaven has cracked open a file the world never knew existed. The angels assigned to your case are no longer in waiting, they are in motion. The courtroom of the Spirit has signed off the inheritance. You're not being offered a chance. You're being restored to your rightful position. Repeat this if your spirit knows it's true. I was chosen before I understood. I was hidden so I could not be harmed. I was delayed so I could be prepared. No more confusion. No more wondering. No more shrinking to fit rooms that were never designed for your greatness. It's time to rise, not as a beggar, but as an heir. The envelope may be hidden beneath the city, but the signature is already in heaven. Your name is written in the records of the Spirit, not in pencil, but in eternal ink. The reason you always felt out of place, because you were never meant to fit. You are the disruption. You are the shift. You are the door. When you enter the room, the atmosphere changes. When you speak, something awakens. You've been waiting for permission, but heaven says, you are the permission. So now I ask you, are you ready? Because this inheritance does not arrive with fanfare. It arrives with clarity. It does not knock. It stands at the door and waits for you to open. You don't need the world to confirm it. God already did. You don't need applause. You need alignment. In Chosen One, the time for alignment is now. Chosen One, you were never forgotten. You were never left behind. You were being prepared in silence. While the world moved forward in noise, you were being trained in stillness. While others rushed ahead, you were being shaped by holy delay. And now you're beginning to realize that your delay was not denial. It was design. Heaven wasn't withholding from you. Heaven was building you. Every closed door wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Every painful silence wasn't punishment, It was preparation. Every moment you felt unseen was a moment heaven had its full attention on you. You weren't missing the move of God. You were becoming it. The delay wasn't because you were disqualified. It was because your calling required a greater altitude. And altitude demands testing. Let me give you the image. No one tests a parachute while standing safely on the ground. No pilot pulls the ripcord at sea level. The parachute is only tested when you're 15,000 feet in the air. And chosen one, you were being lifted. Every delay was another 1,000 feet higher. Every disappointment was a wind tunnel redirecting your course. Every heartbreak was God whispering, "Not yet. You're still rising." Because if you had released too early, you wouldn't have survived the fall. But now, you're right where you need to be, and the sky is finally clear. So maybe you looked around and wondered, why them? Why not me? You watched others step into things you prayed for. You saw the celebrations, the platforms, the breakthroughs, but what you didn't see was that some of them were operating without root. Some moved too soon. Some received what you wanted, but couldn't carry what it cost. And God said to you, "Not yet. I'm still fortifying your foundation." Because your inheritance doesn't just bless you, it carries generations. So yes, the waiting hurt. Yes, it was lonely. Yes, you questioned everything, even yourself. But hear this clearly. You were never being punished. You were being perfected. You weren't benched. You were being built. The silence was God's shield. The detour was God's detonation path, so you wouldn't walk into traps meant for your destruction. You weren't left out. You were being held back, so you could be launched forward. Ask yourself this: what if you had received what you wanted when you weren't ready? Would you have honored it? Could you have sustained it? Or would it have destroyed you? God didn't want to just give it to you. He wanted you to be able to carry it without losing yourself. And now, chosen one, now the temperature is right. Now the pressure has built. Now your faith has roots. Now your discernment is sharp. Now your hands are clean. This is not just about reward. This is about responsibility. You didn't wait this long just to impress people. You waited this long so you could handle weight in the spirit without collapsing. Because what's coming is not small. It's not shallow. It's not temporary. What's coming is legacy. So lift your head. Your season of silence was not wasted. It was sacred. Every tear was seen. Every night was counted. Every moment of surrender recorded. Heaven has kept track. And now the file is being opened. If your spirit knows this is true, comment below. I wasn't forgotten. I was being fortified. And share this with someone who's still in their silent season. Let them know the waiting isn't the end. It's the elevation. The next time someone asks why it took so long, you can smile and say, "Because I wasn't being delayed. I was being designed." Chosen one. The wait is over. The time was never random. The time was appointed. And now the clock in heaven is striking now. Not next year. Not when you feel more ready. Not when others give you permission. Now. This moment you're standing in was written before you took your first breath. The date was sealed in eternity. The coordinates of destiny were marked long ago. And now the divine wheels have begun to turn. You can feel it in your spirit, can't you? That inner stirring, that undeniable sense that something massive is shifting. It's not just emotional. It's not just a good season. It's spiritual acceleration. Heaven's gates are swinging open, Resources that were once locked are flowing like rivers. People you don't even know are being assigned to help you. Opportunities are converging like a divine choreography. The flow of grace has increased, and it's rushing toward you like a tidal wave. This isn't random. This is release. God, chosen one, hear this. You're not the one waiting anymore. You are the door. You're not praying for the key. You are the key. And the lock, it just showed up. For years, God was shaping you, in silence, in heartbreak, in obscurity, and all the while, He was forging something eternal in your spirit, the flame, your disappointments, the hammer, your unanswered questions, the water that cooled the steel, your tears, and now the lock has appeared. The door you've been praying for has been waiting for you to become the key. Let that sink in. You weren't delayed. You were designed for this very moment. The door doesn't open to you. It opens because of you. You're the match to the ignition, the final piece to the puzzle, the frequency that unlocks divine flow. So now comes the question, are you ready? If today is the day you've been summoned, would your spirit rise or shrink? Because this is not the time for hesitation. This is not the time to look back. This is not the time to ask for permission from people who never carried your vision. This is the time to move, to speak, to step, to claim. You've been faithful in the hidden season. Now heaven is faithful to reveal the open one. The oil is pouring, the wind is rising, and the voice of God is clear. Step forward, heir. The appointed time is now. No more doubt, no more delay, no more dry season, no more wilderness mindset. This is your promised land. This is your access point. This is your divine launch. If your soul knows this is for you, pause and declare, I am the key. The door opens because of me. Drop a key in the comments if this confirms what you've been sensing in secret. And if you've been holding your breath for confirmation, this is it. Breathe in your moment. Breathe out your fear. This is not just the next chapter. This is the chapter heaven has been waiting to write. Chosen one, you were made for such a time as this. And this time is no longer in the future. It is here. Chosen one. This inheritance is not handed out lightly. It was never meant for the crowd. It was never designed for the faint of heart. What you carry, the light you walk in, the weight of glory resting on your life is not something the average soul can understand. And that's why not everyone can go with you. The elevation you're stepping into requires oxygen most people don't know how to breathe. You're ascending into a spiritual altitude where shallow relationships collapse under pressure and emotional oxygen becomes scarce. This is not punishment. This is positioning. You're not losing people, you're shedding layers. For a long time, they walked with you. They knew your pain. They cheered for your small victories. But now, they're silent. Now they pull back. Now they question the very thing God has confirmed. Because elevation exposes misalignment. And the higher you rise, the more those not called to the altitude start to fall away. This isn't rejection. This is refinement. Don't let their confusion become your compromise. Don't dim your light so others feel comfortable in the shadows. You are called to shine in spaces others are afraid to enter. You are called to walk in realms that require supernatural lungs. Let me give you the image. A parachute isn't tested on the ground. It's tested at 15,000 feet. In the same way, your relationships, your faith, your identity are being tested now because you're rising. And not everyone can handle the view from where God is placing you. Some will say you changed. Some will say you're distant. Some will say you've forgotten them. But what they don't realize is this: God is the one who separated the path, not because they were bad, but because they were not assigned to your next. Some were seasonal companions, not eternal covenants. Let them go. Let them release. Let them return to their own altitude. Here's the question. Are you willing to let go of what's familiar to embrace what is divine? Are you brave enough to walk alone for a season so that you can stand appointed in the next one? The truth is, the inheritance you're about to receive requires solitude before it can carry authority. Because chosen one, hear this. You're not being abandoned. You're being anointed. When the crowd left Jesus, he didn't chase them. He turned his face toward purpose. And so must you. Your elevation will offend those who refuse to climb, but their opinion is not your confirmation. Repeat this if it resonates in your spirit. I will not shrink to fit where I no longer belong. Comment below if this word is piercing through your season, because you're not crazy, you're not cold, you're not prideful, you're being chosen, and chosen vessels must be emptied of every unnecessary weight before they are filled with heavenly oil. This inheritance is holy, this calling is weighty, this level was reserved for you. And while others may turn back, you will rise. You will carry what they could not. You will breathe where others gasped, because you have been prepared. Let go, look up, and keep climbing. You were made for the altitude. You were chosen for the inheritance. Chosen one. Let's set the record straight. The pain you felt was not paranoia. The warfare you endured was not imagination. The sleepless nights, the heavy thoughts, the moments where you felt like breaking. That wasn't weakness. That was warfare. You were under spiritual siege, not because you were weak, but because you were dangerous to darkness. From the moment your destiny was whispered in heaven, hell has tried to muffle it on earth, not with bombs or fire, but with doubt, with delay, with distractions that whispered, "You're not ready, you're not worthy, you're too late." But chosen one, listen closely. That voice wasn't yours. It was strategy, a targeted assault on your assignment. Yes, there were invisible walls around your life, barriers you couldn't name, doors that wouldn't budge, opportunities that vanished the moment you got close. You weren't imagining it. The enemy built invisible prisons around you and called them normal. He wrapped chains in disappointment, covered cages in delay, and hoped you'd blame yourself forever. But heaven saw it, God saw it, and more than that, he stepped in. The wind of the Lord is now blowing through your life, and the walls that once held you are crumbling like dry leaves in a storm. The barriers weren't built to withstand God's breath. And now, God is breathing on your situation. Let me give you the image. For years, the enemy built brick by brick a fortress of confusion, fear, and shame. But now, God has released the winds of heaven, and like Jericho, those walls are falling down. What once blocked you will now bow before you. What once delayed you is now disarmed. You see, you were never losing. You were being positioned. There's a difference. God didn't stop the war. He joined it. Every lie spoken against you, God heard it. Every weapon formed to destroy your mind, your self-worth, your voice, God shattered it. And now, the truth is being uncovered. You weren't weak. You were targeted because of the light you carry. You were opposed because of the anointing you haven't even fully stepped into yet. So here's your inner question today. Can I dare to believe that none of this pain was wasted? Because it wasn't. The battlefield looked messy, but it made you wiser. It made you sharper. It made you dangerous. The enemy's biggest mistake was thinking that pain would silence you. But instead, pain is becoming your microphone. And now you're not whispering. You're declaring, "Say this if your spirit agrees. My scars are evidence. My faith survived the fire." You're not a victim. You're a survivor. You're a warrior. And you've been armed by heaven itself. Chosen one, this war may have tried to erase your identity, but all it did was awaken your true one. Now, you're rising. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop a person who's been through fire and came out glowing. If this word is stirring your soul, comment below and say, "I'm breaking free." Then share this with someone who needs to be reminded that their battle was not in vain. Chosen one, this was never just about money, never just about getting ahead, never just about escaping struggle. This was about your mantle. The real inheritance that's opening before you right now isn't made of gold, real estate, or titles. It's made of influence, of voice, of healing, of spiritual authority that shakes the atmosphere when you speak. You were born for more than comfort. You were sent for conquest. And now, the vault has opened, the seal is broken. What was hidden for generations is being placed in your hands. Can you see it? In the spirit, you are not empty-handed. You are holding a sword, not just any sword, but one that has passed through the hands of your ancestors, hidden away in secret rooms of heaven, kept safe through battles they couldn't finish, because it was always meant for you to raise it. This isn't about inheritance for consumption. This is inheritance for mission. This is about breaking generational silence. This is about healing the wounds your parents could never explain. This is about finishing the assignment your great-grandmother prayed for when she wept alone in the dark. You are the answer, not just the heir. You are the finisher, not just the receiver. You've been entrusted with something ancient, something sacred, a blueprint written in eternity, but activated through your obedience on earth. Let me give you the image. A vault opens. Inside is a sword, not shiny, not new, but anointed with memory, etched with battles, stamped with heaven's seal. And now, God says, it's yours. Use it. But here's the real question burning through your spirit. Am I ready to receive something not to use for myself, but to fulfill my divine calling? Because this inheritance will cost you comfort. It will ask you to leave behind old mindsets. It will summon you to higher places where the air is thinner and only warriors breathe. You're not just receiving spiritual wealth. You're becoming a conduit of divine power. Your prayers will open doors for others. Your obedience will break chains off entire bloodlines. Your voice will echo through generations yet unborn. This is what your delay was preparing you for. This is why you couldn't settle, why you couldn't stay hidden, why certain friendships fell away and certain places stopped feeling like home. You were being set apart to carry a treasure too holy to be handled with unclean hands. And now, you are clean. You are ready. You are anointed to carry this. Repeat after me, chosen one. This inheritance is not for comfort, it's for calling. I receive it with reverence and responsibility. If your heart agrees, comment below. I take up my sword. And share this with someone who's been feeling the pull of a destiny they can't explain. Because what's next is not about what you get, it's about who you become. Stay close. Chosen one. This is no longer rehearsal. This is not another season of waiting. You are not in preparation anymore. You are in activation. The heavens have shifted. The gates have opened. And the spotlight of divine timing is now resting on you. For years, you've been training in silence, praying in private, healing in hiddenness, crying out to God, "Why am I still unseen? Why am I still behind the curtain?" But what felt like delay was development. What felt like hiding was heaven's strategy. And now, the scene has changed. You are not an extra in someone else's story. You are not a background character in a borrowed dream. You are the letter. You are the scroll. You are the message that must be read aloud. And God is signing His name on every step you take. This is no longer about theory, no longer about study, no longer about waiting for the right conditions. This is the time of release. This is the time to move, to act, to declare, to walk as if every step shifts the atmosphere, because it does. You were born to unlock prophecy. You were chosen to heal generations. You were equipped to flow in a spiritual current that has been dammed up for decades, waiting for someone bold enough to open the floodgates. And guess what, chosen one? You are that someone. The anointing you carry isn't just for personal comfort, it's for generational correction. You are the breaker of cycles. You are the living proof that restoration is not a myth. Listen carefully. The stage isn't coming. It's here. The mic isn't being passed to you. It's already in your hand. No more shrinking. No more second guessing. No more, what if I'm not ready? You are ready because God doesn't release until the soil is deep enough to carry the roots. And your soul has been deeply tilled. Let me give you an image. You are a living letter, not written with ink, but with fire, signed by heaven's hand, folded through years of pressure. And now, God is breaking the seal. You are being read aloud to the world. The time of passive waiting has expired. This is the season of prophetic execution. If God gives you a word, release it. If He calls you to move, don't delay. If He sends you into unfamiliar waters, trust that you were made to walk on waves. You're not trying it out anymore. You're operating in full authority. And with that power comes weight, responsibility, clarity, favor. But here's the question, the one that heaven is waiting for you to ask yourself in this very hour. If this is the moment I finally step into the light, what will I do with it? Will you use it to elevate only yourself, or will you carry a torch for those still lost in the shadows? Will you hide behind fear or rise with fire? Will you doubt your name or sign it next to God's on the story He's writing through your life? If your spirit is bearing witness right now, comment below, I am the letter, and I have been sent. And share this message with someone who feels the pressure of a calling they've been afraid to answer. Because ready or not, the scroll is open, and the world is reading.